Ooh, I look rough. Am I centered? Fuck, I'm never centered. Have dirt in my nails. Of course I do. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time watching, then hi, my name is Katie. Thank you for watching. If it's not your first time, then welcome back. The last time you guys saw me, I was in Pennsylvania visiting family, and I'm back in Vegas, and I want to film more of a makeup-y type of video. Is that a word? No. I asked you guys for suggestions on things that you would want to see me film, and a lot of you guys said that you wanted to see me film multiple looks using the same palette. So I got to thinking, I feel like I could make it a little more interesting, and instead of making like a few different videos, I could make one video using the same exact palette, but two different looks on one face. So for this particular video, I wanted to do a full face. So on one side of my face, I'm going to do a more fresh makeup look. So something more wearable, something you can wear on a day-to-day basis, something you might wear on like a job interview, or maybe, you know, you're meeting someone's parents for the first time, you want to look a little more innocent, a little more fresh. But on the other side of my face, I'm going to use the same exact products, but I'm going to be doing it a little more fierce, if you will. Maybe you really want to impress somebody. Maybe you're having a girls' night, a boys' night. Maybe you know you're about to run into your ex and you just want to look hot. So the whole point to all of this is basically to show you that you can have the same exact products, you can just apply them using different techniques, and you can get two totally different results. So if you would like to see me do a fresh versus fierce makeup tutorial, then just keep watching. God, that's really cheesy. I literally just got a spray tan like 45 minutes ago. My spray tan oxidizes fully in a few hours, so if you see me starting to get darker throughout this video, that's why. So I'm gonna try to match my foundation to like what I would be at the darkest. While traveling for the holidays, my skin decided to go apeshit. So as you can see, I have a lot going on, but it's okay. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. It's okay. I can cover it up. You guys have seen me without makeup on. Makeup is magic. I'm gonna be doing the fierce makeup look on this side of my face because I have this going on. Well, actually I have this going on this side, so. Okay, both sides are shit. We're just gonna do the fierce side on this side anyway. I'm going to start off by using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's the pore minimizing one. I don't wanna move around the spray tan on my face, so I'm just gonna gently press this in, and I'm not gonna rub it because I don't wanna rub the spray tan off and have like two giant white circles on my cheeks. And this is just gonna be filling in my pores because my pores are very large. So I'm gonna be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation in the shade 07 Sand. I'm gonna take a damp beauty sponge. This is the one from Real Techniques, and I'm going to pick that up off the back of my hand and kind of work it into the sponge. And then I'm going to put this on this side of my face. This is actually one of my favorite drugstore foundations. I just feel like the finish of it is so pretty and it's super affordable. I'm still gonna run this down my neck just to make sure everything flows. It's definitely a little darker than I need it to be, but like I said, the spray tan is gonna oxidize and then I feel like it's gonna match. So I'm gonna be doing the same exact thing for the fresh side of my face. I'm just gonna add one pump of foundation, but I'm also going to add a few drops of the Hydrating Physicians Formula Skin Booster Vitamin Shots. So basically the point of this is it's just gonna sheer out the foundation a little bit and it's gonna give a hydrating, fresh glow. So I'm gonna mix that together with my beauty sponge, and I'm going to apply this to the fresh side of my face. I guess the whole point of this video was that I wanted to kind of show you guys you can have a certain amount of products and you can use them in so many different ways. You don't need a million different products to do your makeup. You can have the same products and just apply them with different techniques and you can get totally different results. I feel like we get so caught up with needing, you know, every new thing and a million different makeup products, and that's all fine and dandy. Like, I love makeup, I want everything that launches, but I'm just trying to show you that you can definitely get two totally different looks, but you can just use what you've got. Next, I'm going to be taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Light Sand, and I'm going to be doing two different techniques. On the fierce side of my face, I'm going to apply it, but I'm going to bring it all the way out here. So down and out, because I want to like lift this and make it look a little more fierce. I cannot keep saying that word. I hate it. On this side of my face, I'm going to keep it a little more rounded. So I'm just going to focus the product right in this area. I'm going to do the same thing to my forehead. And I'm also going to bring it down the nose a little bit and on my chin. Before I start blending that out, I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, and I'm going to work that into the tip of this beauty blender. Because for this side of my face, I definitely want to keep it a little more bright, and I don't want the foundation mixing in with the color of the concealer. I know I didn't show you guys, and it seems like I did that right away, but I kind of let this sit for a couple minutes before I blend it out, just so it dries down a little bit and it stays where I want it to be. If you kind of go in and start blending right away while the product is super wet, it'll definitely blend way more easily, but the product will spread more easily as well. And sometimes that's not always what you want. If you're highlighting certain areas, you want the product to stay where you put it. So if it dries down a little bit, it's more likely to stay exactly where you want it to stay. Now I'm going to gently blend upwards so that line isn't so harsh. Now for this side of my face, I want to keep it pretty much just in this area. I'm going to gently tap this out, but I'm going to keep it right under my eye. I'm also going to bring this pretty far up on the sides of my nose and under my nostrils, because genetically women tend to show redness underneath their nose. Now when it comes to blending out this area right here, I'm just going to gently press the sides. Now my chin and my forehead, I'm not doing anything different. It's gonna look the same on both sides. Blending out the nose highlight, and I'm going to gently, I say gently and then I'm like digging in. I'm going to go over my eyelids with whatever product is left over. I'm just gonna use this as a base for our shadows. I'm just gonna wipe this concealer off my lips so you guys can like truly see how crusty they are. I just don't want to camouflage it in any way, you know? Now we're going to be setting this in place, and for that I'm going to be using the Maybelline loose setting powder, loose finishing powder in the shade Fair. I'm going to take a Morphe E48 brush and tap off the excess, and I'm going to look up and gently set this side of my face. And I'm also going to bring this down and kind of press that powder into those pores, and I'm just keeping this powder right in this area. Now for the other side of my face, I'm going to be doing the same exact thing. First, get out the creases, tap off the excess, and gently set this side of my face. Now, what I'm going to be doing different is on the fierce side of my face, I'm going to take this powder, and with the back of that Real Techniques beauty sponge, I'm going to load it up, and I'm going to look up. I'm going to press this under my eyes, down here, and then also I'm going to bring this out. If it looks like I used a lot of powder, it's because I did use a lot of powder. And I'm going to use more because I'm basically going to be baking this side of my face. I'm also going to take that powder and I'm going to set right here and on my chin. Then I'm going to be taking the Maybelline loose finishing powder in the shade Medium, and I'm going to completely set this side of my face. And for the fresh side of my face, I'm not gonna set the whole thing. I'm just gonna set where I'm going to bronze. So this area and this area. And then I'm also just gonna take that powder and run it over both eyelids so that the little bit of concealer that we put on our eyelids doesn't crease. Now for this side of my face, I'm going to be contouring, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of a different technique. I'm gonna be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna be dipping into the middle shade and the shade. This is a Morphe fan brush, and it's a holiday collection. Fan brushes are so slept on, I'm telling you, because you can contour so effortlessly with them, and you can also use them to apply like highlight and blush, and there's just so many good purposes for fan brushes. And I feel like when you get these in a set, people just kind of like toss them to the side and they never use them. But when I'm freelancing especially, I use so many fan brushes. I'm gonna start off with my hand really far back on this brush and use a very light amount of pressure and just go right into this contour line. I'm slowly just building this color up, and I'm just sweeping it back and forth, and then I'm kind of also sweeping it upwards. Now for this side of my face, I don't want any harsh contours. I don't want any harsh anything. I'm gonna take the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I'm gonna take a Morphe M527. It's like a big, huge, fluffy powder brush, but I'm going to load up the bronzer on my brush and then tap off the excess. I'm going to hold this brush very, very loosely in my hand, and I'm going to raise my elbow and just bring it back and forth like this. and I want to keep it pretty far back, but I'm using very little pressure and I'm just running it back and forth. I don't want this bronzer going to the center of my face at all and making it more chiseled. I want to keep it all out here. Now for my forehead, I'm going to be doing both sides pretty much the same exact way, and I'm just going to take the Physicians Formula bronzer and gently go around my hairline. Now if you got a little bit messy with the contour, you can always go back with a translucent powder and kind of clean it up, but using that fan brush is actually such a good way to contour because it doesn't get super messy. Look how skinny this brush is. It's gonna give you a way more precise line as opposed to using something like this. I mean, I like both, but I'm just showing you different ways that you can do it. This is what both sides look like as of now. I'm gonna wipe away that bake, and I'm gonna dip into this translucent powder a little bit before I wipe off the bake. Kind of just gently push the product upwards and like pat it into the skin. I feel like when you're aggressively wiping, it's just disrupting the makeup underneath and everything that you just did, and whatever extra unnecessary powder is just kind of gonna fluff away. Since I wasn't able to bronze around the bake, I'm now just gonna take that fluffy brush on this side and just kind of marry the contour to the more highlighted under eye. Now for the nose contour, I'm just gonna do the same exact thing on both sides because it's my nose and I want it to look the same on both sides, but I'm gonna hop into this middle shade in the Kat Von D palette and dust off the excess. And I'm taking this on a pretty fluffy brush right now. I'm focusing this pretty much where the bridge of my nose meets my brow. I'm also gonna take that color and go under the tip of my nose and gently down the sides. Sorry, that last brush was the M441 from Morphe. So now I'm gonna take a more precise brush, and this is a Zoeva. Dude, this brush is so old, oh my God. 231 brush? I don't know, it's a petite crease brush, but it's this little tiny blending brush and it's tapered at the top. But I'm gonna go into this shade and I'm going to draw two very skinny lines very close together down the bridge of my nose. You know, it would be like really cool though if I just had like a cute small button nose and I didn't have to do this shit. I know this probably looks crazy, but it will get better. Trust. Now I'm going to take a M433 and I'm going to go over the edges and sweep inward. This side of my nose, I'm gonna sweep this way. This side of my nose, I'm gonna sweep that way. And then on this side of my nose, I'm going to sweep down. And then this side of my nose, I'm sweeping down the other way. Now I'm going to take the medium powder and a beauty sponge. I'm gonna pick up that medium powder. I'm going to draw two lines down either side of where I contoured. Now that powder is pretty intense and it'll leave lines, so right away I pick up a little bit on this powder brush and I dust it off. So for this side, I'm dusting it upwards and over this way, and then for this side, I'm brushing it this way. And for the last and final step, I promise you, I'm going to take a very skinny MAC 242 brush and I'm going to go into my Hyper Real Glow palette. It's a highlighting palette from MAC, and I'm going to dip into the first and the second shade. And when I'm dipping, I'm twisting the brush back and forth to keep it very flat, and I'm drawing a line right down the center of my nose, but I'm starting it kind of in between my brows and then drawing down about, I'd say like an inch, and then right on the tip of my nose. Now, do you understand why I skipped the nose contouring process in my other videos? Because it's extra AF, but it looks more skinty now. And please don't kill me, but I'm going to do my brows off camera because I know this video is going to be long as hell. And I promise you I will do a dedicated video to brows, but I'm gonna do the brows off camera in this video. Okay, that literally took forever. As you can see, there's not like a huge difference in the brows. This one, I used the Busy Gal Brow by Tarte and just ran it all throughout the brow, and then used the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Pomade in Deep Brown, and I used this Anastasia brow brush and just drew hair-like strokes throughout the front and cleaned up the arch a little bit. And then for this one, I used the brow pomade and like went in. So now I'm gonna be moving on to the eyeshadow portion of this tutorial, and for this makeup look, I'm gonna be using the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collab I got a lot of wear out of this palette. I picked this palette for this first tutorial because I just feel like a lot of people have this palette. I'm doing a very wearable look. I haven't really done anything very wearable on my channel yet. I'm gonna be using the same exact shades for both of my eyes, but I'm gonna do two totally different eye looks. So I'm just gonna show you right now because I don't know the names of these shades. They're not listed on the palette. I know she did name all these shades though. But for this look, I'm going to be using this shade right here, this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade. And if you don't have this particular eyeshadow palette, you can definitely just use shades that are very similar to this. So how I'm gonna be doing this is I'm gonna be doing the fresh eye makeup look first, and then I'm going to move on and do the fierce makeup eye next. Makeup eye, well. We are hopping into this second shade on a small little pencil brush. I'm gonna start off this eye by just highlighting my brow bone. I know this shit looks crazy right now, but once we take our transition color, it's going to soften it up. So next I'm going to be dipping into this shade right here on a MAC 286. I know I always say this, but I use very, very light pressure and I hold this brush all the way back here when I'm doing transition work. And I don't pick the brush up off of my eye whatsoever until I'm done. So I go in windshield wiper motions, back and forth, and then once I get to the outer corner, I just kind of scratch the sides. And as you can see, that super harsh highlight has definitely dulled down. So next on the same exact brush, I'm going to be dipping into this shade now. It's actually the same exact tone as this shade. It's just like, I would say like 2 shades darker. So now I'm going directly into my crease, but I'm keeping it a little bit lower. For this particular look, I want to keep everything a little more rounded. So because I brought everything out a little bit, I'm just going to take that darker color and bring it up in the center as well to keep everything a little more rounded. And I'm just kind of moving my brush in like little tiny circles to blend it out. So now on an M433, I'm going to dip into this shade right here. I don't want this shadow to be super pigmented. I just want it to be like a little bit of a wash. So I'm actually gonna diffuse it on the back of my hand a little bit before I go in as well. I'm keeping this just in the outer corner. I'm not bringing it in much at all. And I'm just scratching back and forth. I want it to be like a light wash. Now, I actually don't mind the way that this eyeshadow looks. I feel like for me, typically, I would just leave it like this and I wouldn't even add anything else because on my day-to-day, I don't really wear a ton of shimmery eyeshadows. But for the sake of this video and for the sake of trying to have like more of a fresh, youthful look, I am going to dip back into that second shade on a MAC 242 brush and I'm going to put that on my lid. I'm just patting the shadow on and I'm bringing it in about halfway. Now I am gonna go back in with that fluffy brush and just blend the inner corner to make sure there's no harsh line. And then I'm also just gonna blend inward on the lid a little bit as well. Now I'm gonna take a teeny little liner brush, is the M250, and I'm going to go into the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner in black, and I'm going to draw the tiniest, skinniest little line across my whole lid. Okay, while that liner is a little bit tacky and you kind of have to work quickly with this, I'm going to take a MAC 212 brush and I'm going to dip into this dark brown shade right here. As I'm dipping in, I'm twisting the brush back and forth to keep the bristles super tight together, and I'm going to go right over that black line and smudge upwards. Now I'm gonna take this same exact brush and I'm gonna dip into the same exact color. I'm gonna run that on my lower lash line, but I'm going to keep it so thin. And I'm just gonna make sure that this line up here and this line down here is connected. Next, I'm gonna hop into this shade and this shade, and I'm going to run that right under that line. And I wanna make sure that I keep down here smoked out to just make sure this eye looks very rounded. So I'm keeping it tighter over here, smoking it down a little bit further in the center. Now I'm gonna take just the tiniest amount of this color, like the little tiniest amount. And I'm gonna focus that on the outer corner. And I'm not bringing it any further than the center of my eye. So now what I'm gonna do to really open up the eye is I'm gonna take the nude eyeliner from Awake Beauty and I'm going to run this along my waterline. Now for the last step before I move on to the other eye, I'm gonna go back into that pencil brush and I'm going to put this right in the inner corner. Okay, dogs are barking and people are talking, but I don't think they're gonna stop, so I'm just gonna continue. But that is all that I'm gonna do on this eye for right now, and now I'm going to move on to this eye. So dipping right back into this shade, I'm going to once again highlight the brow bone on this eye. So I cleaned off the pencil brush and I'm actually going to dip into this shade. This is totally gonna be one of those situations where I'm telling you it's not gonna look good in the process. I'm going to take that pencil brush and the dark brown shade and I'm going to press this all along my lash line. I am not being precise about this at all. I'm just drawing a thick ass line of brown across my lash line. Next, taking that same exact pencil brush, I'm going to dip into this shade and I'm going to go right above that dark brown line. And literally the whole entire time, I'm just pressing very quickly and it's kind of just blending it. I'm just bringing this pretty much onto my whole entire lid. I got a little bit of fallout on my cheek, so I'm just gonna press upwards and like this. It's gone. Next, I'm gonna take this fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this shade and this shade. I'm first just stamping the color on and then I'm kind of gonna go back and forth in windshield wiper motions. Now I'm gonna go into this shade and I'm going to go and put this into my transition. I'm actually gonna dip into this brown color one more time and I'm gonna go over the lash line one more time. And I'm just going to take that color and kind of press it into this outer V as well. And then go back in that fluffier brush and blend it out. So for this eye, I'm going to be doing a wing and I'm gonna use that same liner brush. So I'm just basically starting off by drawing a line at an upwards angle and then going from the tip of that line, I'm going to draw a line straight across. If you feel like you freaking suck at wing liner, just know I'm not even the best at wing liner and I literally do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just like not an easy thing to do. I've done like 20 million winged liners in my life and I still pray to Jesus every single time that it turns out okay. And then you are going to think that I have absolutely lost my mind, but I'm going to take this on the inner rim of my eye and go underneath as well. Okay, you really have to move quickly for this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color right here and this color right here, and I'm going to smudge this across that line. Now I'm gonna clean off that pencil brush and I'm going to go back just into this shade. I'm holding this very tightly and I'm pressing into that line to smudge it out. We're going to dip just into this shade on the M507 and we're gonna go right under that. And it might take you a little bit, but with time, it will blend. This definitely is not going to be an eye look that you're gonna be doing if you have like 10 minutes to walk out the door, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the eyeshadow is done. I'm just going to be taking the CoverGirl Lash Blast mascara. Okay, literally just jabbed my eye with that mascara and then got it all up here, so that's cute. I'm being a little more careful with this eye because I don't want to get any black mascara on that nude liner. Oh, I'm so hunched over. I cannot sit like that for that long. Gosh. Okay, so for the fierce side of the makeup look, I'm going to be using the Lily Lashes and the style Mykonos. I'm also just using the Duo Dark Lash Glue that smells like dirty genitals. And for the fresh side of the face, I'm going to use the Ardell Demi Wispies. So that's the eyes all finished up. Why is this so dark now? If this was dark the whole time, I'm gonna lose my shit. That's better. Why was it so dark? If that was dark the whole entire time, I'm actually going to cry. Okay, I'm gonna hop into MAC Melba on an E4 brush. For this side of my face, I'm going to keep everything farther back here. I'm almost blending the blush right into my contour and keeping it further back. And for the other side of my face, I'm going to actually put it right on the apple of my cheek. I'm just gonna smile. It like pops it out for you, and I'm gonna bring it back as well. See the difference? This one is very rosy right here, and this one is more pulled back here. Then for highlighter, hopping into that MAC Hyper Real palette one more time and mixing both colors together. For this side, I'm going to keep it pretty far back, right in this area. I'm stopping it about like the outer corner of my eye. And for this side of my face, I'm gonna start right about here and I'm gonna work in little circular motions. If I drew a line from my pupil down, I'm gonna highlight there and then back. And then I'm just gonna go over that with that blush brush one more time to make sure everything kind of just blends together. The thing that does suck about doing this is it definitely will like accentuate your pores. So if you're insecure about that, I probably wouldn't bring the highlight onto the cheek. I really don't give a shit. I just do it anyway. And honestly, if you are that close to my face that you can see my pores, then you are too close. Now lips, and then we are done. We are finally done. I'm gonna take this dull ass Spice lip liner from MAC and I'm going to line my lips. Next, I'm gonna take Jeffree Star Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Mannequin. I'm telling you, his liquid lipstick formula is bomb. That's actually like a little pink for my liking, so I'm gonna go over it with Dose of Colors in the color Sand. And this is like super nude, but it'll neutralize it a little. Now the only thing I'm gonna do different with the lip is I'm just gonna add a nude gloss to this side, and this is Fashion Whim by MAC. And that is the final look. I know I'm trying to like wrap this up, but how was your holiday? I haven't talked to you guys. I haven't filmed since Christmas time. I hope you had an amazing new year. I've worked every single New Year's for the past like 10 years probably. So yeah, I've been a waitress for the past forever. New Year's is always like a big holiday that you work, so I haven't had New Year's kiss forever. Anyway, this is the finished look. I know I already said it like 4 times, but the concept was, I just wanted to show you guys that you can use the same exact products, just applied differently, and you can come up with 2 totally different looks. One being very fresh, the other one being very fierce. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video and you thought it was a cool concept, then let me know. I was thinking I could just make it a series, so like anytime a new eyeshadow palette launches, I can buy it and I can show you guys 2 different looks. One being a little more wearable, a little more like everyday, and then the other one being a little more sultry, sexy, whatever have you. What side do you guys like more? Is this more of your vibe, or do you like something that's more, you know, like wearable and something you can wear on a day-to-day? This is like the kind of stuff that I love. But I'm the type of person who isn't wearing makeup at all, or I'm doing everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And once again, thank you guys so much for just the crazy amount of support that I've had so far. It means the absolute world to me. It was the best Christmas present. It was the best New Year's present. It was just, I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm so incredibly thankful. You literally have no idea. I cannot say it enough. Subscribe, like the video, tell me what side you like more, and I will see you in my next video.